Dear Balkans, aka Europe's most dysfunctional family. Okay, look, I know you guys are always like post-Yugoslav bickering and arguing, but I'm gonna need you guys to sit down and get along for about 20 minutes because I have a mini documentary to make. So let's start with the first one of you guys. Dear Serbia, out of all the countries in this group, you're the one that I'm probably most familiar with. I grew up around tons of Serbians in Chicago, including my old high school classmate Ivan from the Serbia episode I made. I think we only shared like one class together and we never spoke all 4 years of high school. A decade later, we bumped into each other in LA, and now we're good pals. Even our moms have hung out with each other. Now, okay, I know on paper, Serbia, you're kind of seen as like the guy who pushes things in a concerning geopolitical direction when it comes to Balkan relations. However, from my understanding, the issue goes so much deeper. It's like, Croatia did this, Bosnia started that, well, Serbia did this to me. It's like a constant generationally inherited blame game that each region holds on to, and honestly, from my outsider's perspective, it doesn't really hold much relevance to today's societal structure. But then again, I'm in no position to give conjecture on these matters, so I won't. Anyway, enough on that. You are going to be the starting point of this whole trip, and I usually always need a reason when I travel. So what's the reason for this one? My buddy Xavier's wedding. He's a very interesting guy. He's a Texan American with half Mauritanian, half Belgian heritage, and he fell in love with his Serbian wife Ivana, and they said I could bring a +1 to their wedding. So of course that meant mom was coming along. Dear Serbia, it is said that a nation's national and flagship airline is the first ambassador you'll be exposed to for the country it represents, and therefore it has the burden of making the nation's first impression to the world. Now, okay, I'll admit, when it comes to anything that has ties to either the Eastern Bloc or former Yugoslavia, the typical Hollywood depiction of a sad, war-torn utilitarian industrial state shot with a gray tint film tone is usually what comes to my mind. With that preconceived standard set, Air Serbia exceeded all my misguidedly low expectations. It was actually pretty good. The comfort, the seating, the food and all. I mean, look at this flight meal, a pleasant omelet with veggies and ikra. Sticking to the Balkan theme, I like that. Thumbs up. So it was time for the wedding. I had heard of Balkan weddings, but I had never been to one. This was fun. One of the best parts was I got to meet the two ladies from my Serbia episode, Tamara and Jovana.
Let me introduce you to some people. Jovana and Tamara from the Serbia episode.
Oh, and yes, I did meet Drubinski. He was one of the groomsmen. We both knew of each other's work and did what all YouTubers in similar fields do. We acted cordial while mentally sizing each other up, and then we went back to doing shots of rakia. By the way, Mom and I only drink on social occasions, but when there's a social occasion, we go hard.
Yeah!
So I'm a little tipsy right now, and I'm with my mom who's a little tipsy, and she's walking barefoot. What is going on? The mom got a little tipsy, and she has no shoes. They're in my bag. Mom, how do you feel?
Shut up, Paul.
I love my mom when she's like this. Dear Serbia, Belgrade is Belgrade. I love countries where the exchange rate is low and the people are just the perfect amount of crazy. You definitely fit that bill. You guys literally build these floating party platform things on rivers called splavs, and every one of them has like a unique theme or specialty. Also, out of all the countries in the Balkans, your people drive the fastest, and I love it.
Alright, so I am driving in Serbia, and I was just quickly looking at my phone for directions, and the guy behind me, like, flashed his high beams and like honked a little bit. Oh, these guys are a little aggressive. I like that because my mom knows I have road rage and I drive fast in LA and I go crazy. I'm the slow, stupid one here. These guys are aggressive with me. I like that. I like driving in a place like that. Ah, Serbia. I like driving in this country.
In any case, my chain-smoking Serbian correspondent Nikola would be hosting my mom and I in his house, and I gotta say, this guy taught me things.
Mr. Nikola.
Salt, smoked paprika.
So, bread with must and paprika and salt.
Mr. Nikola, if people are visiting Serbia for the first time, what would you say to them?
Just be open-minded and don't believe what you read and hear in the media, let's say, mainstream media, whatever. Come here, meet the people, see the nature, try the food, and just enjoy, be yourself. And I mean, next to the food, the good nightlife.
Serbians have kind of like a reputation in Europe, but it's like you said, you gotta just come and see it for yourself. It's, yeah.
Definitely. As I told you, it happened to me a lot of times that the room would go quiet when I would say that I'm from Serbia, but after a while, when they meet me, when they see that I'm just a normal person, it all goes well.
In any case, with the wedding over and a week left of free time, there was no way I was going to stay in one place. I'm sorry, Serbia, but I'm heading over to your weird half-Muslim-y cousin, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
So before we drive through Bosnia and Herzegovina, we gotta practice something. Bosnian-style cevapi. You gotta melt the kajmak inside of the bread, and it's so good. And Mom's having Banja Luka-style cevapi. And what do you think about all this?
I brought you here, man.
All right, we are crossing into Bosnia and Herzegovina. We are at the border. And we are now entering Bosnia.
Continue straight to stay on M4.
Dear Bosnia and Herzegovina, so we entered through the Republic of Srpska side of your country, which I know has a complicated administrative position in your state's makeup, as evidenced by the Cyrillic writing on the street signs and the Republic of Srpska flags hanging everywhere. But geopolitical marker topics aside, what the hell? Most of your country looks like Switzerland. What is up with these insanely picturesque mountains and quaint wooden homes with flower pots on the windowsills and railings? Okay, so there were a few busted up neglected houses here and there. Okay, I get it. But still, overall, definitely not the somber, brutalist dystopia depiction I had in my head.
So I just had to stop because this is so beautiful. Bosnia and Herzegovina, man. What? All right, Jogger peeps, we officially made it to Sarajevo. That's City Hall. Yeah.
Dear Bosnia and Herzegovina, I have to admit, apart from maybe a few socialist-era block apartment buildings in the outskirts of the cities, I didn't really see too much of that gritty, overcast urban setting and shambles I was hoping for. Sarajevo is such a weird city that transforms itself every few blocks with a neighborhood highlighting the fusion culture of the Muslim, Orthodox, and Catholic Europeans. And I love how you guys kind of have a sense of humor and exploit tragedy for your tourism.
So this is crazy. They have the spot where World War I began. This is where Gavrilo Princip killed Archduke Ferdinand. He was like standing right here, and then he shot, and then he got a sandwich or something, right? Yeah, he got a sandwich. Yeah.
Put that in the coffee and eat it. You actually don't put the sugar cube inside.
Take the cube, bite it, and then drink. Right, Vedad?
Yeah, right.
That's right? All right. Oh my goodness, Sarajevo is really shocking me. It's crazy. There's like Austro-Hungarian side, the Turkish side. Dude, I love this city. I gotta come back.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's so cool. I really wish I could spend more time here.
Dear Bosnia and Herzegovina, I absolutely hate that my time is so limited here. I didn't even get to see the Icar canned beef monument that I mentioned in the episode. I was kind of looking forward to that. Trust me, I really wish I could stay longer, but I really have to make my way to Makarska on the Croatian coast. Don't worry, I'll be back briefly tomorrow, you'll see. In the meantime, Mom and I need to get some sleep. I'll see you again soon.
Wow.
Dear Croatia, good morning! And oh, you just love rubbing that coast of yours in the faces of your former Yugoslav siblings, don't you? It's like your biggest flex. In any case, Nikola recommended Makarska because he said it was a quieter, less touristy place compared to the big guys Dubrovnik, Zadar, and Split. Man, you Croatians are definitely water people, and seafood is your specialty. Dude, I found a bag of octopus tentacles at the grocery store for only like €7. Are you kidding me? Here in California, that whole bag would cost like $4 billion and a kidney. And look, Croatia, I'm gonna be honest, it's my second time visiting, and I can't help but think, you're like Slavic Italians. I mean, let alone much of your Dalmatian coast was at one point under the Venetian Republic. Like, you and Slovenia are the only Catholic former Yugoslav countries, you eat way more pasta and olive oil, and you dress a little more fashionable than your siblings. I mean, you guys did invent the necktie. Oh, by the way, say hi to Slovenia for me. Although I did get to visit them a year prior, Mom and I are not gonna go on this trip, so give them my best regards. In any case, your coast, or as I like to call it, your coast is world-renowned. The only problem is, when driving on this coast, it only takes one idiot to ruin it for everybody. We're enjoying the beautiful Dalmatian coast, and the moment we get on the highway, it's a car accident, and it blocks us off for 2 hours. Well, that's just great. Now we have to take a completely different road, because the only road got blocked. I guess I have to go into the mountains now. In any case, now here's the deal. I could have continued on the 8 highway, crossing over the bridge into the Dubrovnik Peninsula, but there was no way I was gonna do that because this was my only one chance and opportunity to actually experience and see one of the strangest border anomalies on Earth.
We have one objective today, and that is to see the Neum coastline of Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is so narrow, it's only 16 miles, 25 kilometers wide, and we're gonna check it out. Neum, Klek. Yep, I gotta go this way. That's the border for Neum. Oh, that's so cool. We're gonna go into Bosnia for a quick 16 miles. That's the border. And now we are entering Bosnia and Herzegovina all over again. We are officially in Neum. Ah, that's so cool. Entering Croatia once again. Here's the border control.
Even though we avoided staying in the overpriced tourist hotspot of Dubrovnik, we still wanted to see it, so we made a quick stopover.
We're about to enter Dubrovnik. Here we go.
Welcome.
So there is absolutely no parking, so we just quickly illegally parked here. Mom, are you happy? You happy?
Sometimes people may criticize me and say, "Oh, come on, you can't really claim you've been there. You only quickly stopped by." To which I say, "Yeah, I know, but what do you want me to do? Time is not a luxury I always have an infinite amount of. I'm kind of forced into a position where I have to cram as much as possible in the little amount of time that I do have." Mom and I are very similar in this way. We're totally fine with a large quantity of small, quick experiences. Also, Mom is happy with just taking a quick picture to brag to her friends back home. And I'm happy to help her with that. Well, that was fun. Bosnia and Croatia. It was a cool experience, but now we gotta cross over to your little sleepy brother, Montenegro.
All right, Montenegro border. Where do the cars go? Okay, I guess I'll follow this guy.
Dear Montenegro, okay, now I understand why all the Balkan people say that you are the sleepiest and laziest place on earth. Because when I entered your country, it only took me about 10 minutes to realize how incredibly relaxed everything looked. I have wanted to see the famous Bay of Kotor for years, and now it all makes sense. Everyone was just laying out in the sun, taking a nap, maybe taking a dip in the fresh, clean waters, and then going back to their lounge chairs to take another nap. Now here's the thing, there are only 2 regrets I have with your country. 1, we made a rushed decision and chose to stay in the city of Bar when I probably should have chosen a place close to this bay. And 2, this meant that time was running out and we had to get to our Airbnb before dark, so we had to take a shortcut at the Kaminari ferry. So this is the Kaminari ferry. We basically have to take this to avoid a really long drive. So we're starting from over there and going all the way over there. But if we didn't, we would have to follow that road over there all the way along the coast into a secret hidden bay shaped like an axe, all the way to the other side, and finally end up following that road over there. So yeah, we're cutting off a lot of time. You have no idea how much I wish I could have just stayed at the Bay of Kotor. It seriously looked like a magical fantasy land. God, I'm mad at myself. Check out this Airbnb we got. It's like
Almost hits the counter and then hits the table. Octopus salad.
Dear Montenegro, my philosophy in life is to always have incredibly low expectations. I know that sounds like a pretty morbid outlook on life, but hear me out. If you get a bad situation, then your expectations are met. If you get a good situation, then it's a bonus. Technically, you can never lose. So Mom and I were gonna have to make the most of this bar place. And I'm glad we did.
All right, Mom and I are here in Bar, Montenegro. It's really cool. They got this little shop alleyways right next to a castle or a fortress. Bar fortress. Look at this. Trees are growing out of the castle walls. Cypress trees. Pretty cool. I'll just explore the whole thing myself. No one's here. Almost no tourists. You just get to explore an ancient fortress ruin. And the city's right there. Great view. Whoa, Stari Bar, Montenegro.
Dear Montenegro, just one question that's been perplexing me to this day. So, Mom and I got food from a grocery store for the road trip, and
Okay, Balkans subscribers, Jagger peeps. What is this? I bit into it. It's like fried an egg and it has meat and I think there's like cheese in there too. What are these? They're so good. I love them. What are these?
originally I thought it was sarma, but there was no cabbage. I made a social media post and even my subscribers couldn't agree. Some said it was a thing called popetsi, but I'm not sure. Either way, I freaking love those things. In any case, it was time to move on to the next country. The black sheep of the Balkans. I was a little nervous because, well, if you know anything about diplomacy in this area, you'll understand. So today we're gonna ask the age-old question. As you can see, I rented a Serbian car. I'm here in Bar, Montenegro. Is it okay to drive a Serbian car into Albania? Gonna cross the border into Albania. Let's see how things go.
This is the only road that goes to Albania. We're like in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. This is crazy. Oh my God, we're at the border. Here we are, the border. Ooh, all these languages. We're at the border of Montenegro and Albania, driving a Serbian car. The real question is, will people stare at our car? Let's find out. Crna Gora, Montenegro, goodbye. Well, that was easy. Now we are...
Continue straight on D762.
Dear Albania, okay, you are definitely the black sheep of the Balkans. Okay, first impression and just a weird side note, why do you have so many gas stations? Seriously, like every kilometer, even in the countryside, there's a gas station. And your country only has like 3 million people. Like, dang, can you chill? And also, another thing about the gas stations.
So that's the thing I noticed. Like Mom and I, we wanted to get some snacks and stuff for the road. So we thought, like every other country, go to the gas station. You know, the gas stations usually have like a mini convenience store with snacks and drinks or whatever. Albanian gas stations don't really have that. There's nothing. It's just gas and like there's chairs in an empty room. So we have to go to like the outside fruit stalls to get stuff. Albania, man. Everywhere along the roadside you find these fruit stands. I love this type of stuff. You can also get baskets and pottery. It's like an Albanian convenience store. These huge grapes. They're super good. Look at that. Oh. Little snack before we leave.
In any case, I'll be honest. Out of all the Balkan countries, you're the one I heard the worst things about. Stories of the Albanian mafia and corruption are just all I hear. But when I arrived, I was... whoa. I thought I was gonna see a bunch of Cold War, Enver Hoxha-era isolationist concrete block units with bullet holes and mortar blast marks. And although I'm sure some areas of the country probably still have some remnants of those scars of the past, most of what I saw just kind of looked like this.
Okay, Mom. How do you feel?
Nice.
It's nice. Oh, I'm gonna go swimming here. Yeah, these 5 a.m. in the morning shots with nobody around, they're kind of annoying to get, but hey, looks pretty cool.
Dear Albania, it's crazy to remember that, like Bosnia and Herzegovina, about half of your country is Muslim. But other than maybe a few mosques here and there, I mostly see an ancient Roman/Mediterranean tone to your overall civil structure and ambiance. Like Durrës actually has an ancient Venetian tower and a Roman amphitheater right in the middle of the city. You could just walk up to them and touch them. There are so many layers of history just locked away in every square kilometer of space that you go to, including a more contemporary chapter.
So one of the cool things you can do in Albania, and I've wanted to do this ever since the Albania episode, you can go and like scavenger hunt for one of the many abandoned concrete bunkers. They're scattered all over the country. I think there's like over 700,000 of them. The reason is because they had a president that was kind of paranoid. He thought the Yugoslavs were going to attack everybody, but they didn't. But anyway, here's one right here. I found my first one in Durrës, and I'm excited, man. I want to see what's inside. Just a bunch of trash. A little disappointing. My goodness, there are pomegranate trees everywhere. Well, public property. I guess we're having dessert for dinner tonight. This is our Airbnb. It's got a cool little loft. Mom's up there. Look, they got Mother Teresa. So that pomegranate I stole, it's not quite ripe, but I want to get my money's worth. And by that I mean $0 because I stole it, but
Dear Albania, I loved Durrës. It was a beautiful city, but I had one problem. Even though this was a nice, beautiful, modernized tourist hotspot city, the majority of shops here were still mostly cash-only businesses. It was a little annoying because I'm so used to just using either my credit card or other forms of payment, and I'm not exactly a huge fan of international ATM withdrawal interest rates. Only one place accepted my credit card, an ice cream shop by the beach. In any case, I absolutely loved this city, but alas, we had one more country left to visit.
and for breakfast, pastetta. I don't care what people say. I know people say it's like cat food. It's meat pate. It's protein. I love it. It doesn't have that nasty liver taste. I love it. Cat food. So we spent the night in Durrës, Albania. We left the car on the street in public, on the side. No problem. Totally fine. Okay. Water's fine. I love it. Who reads doesn't steal. Who steals doesn't read. Well, someone stole all the books. Man, look at these Albanian mountains. Here's the border. And we're about to enter North Macedonia. Bye, Albania.
Dear North Macedonia, first of all, because of obvious geopolitical reasons, I have to refer to you as North Macedonia. If I don't, I could be angering a lot of people. So the funny thing is, out of all the Balkan countries I visited, you're actually the one that I got the most footage and had the most time spent in. And you're also the country that probably surprised me the most. So you know what? I'm gonna end this project on a cliffhanger. Congratulations, I'm gonna give you your own entire video. I just don't know when I'm gonna reveal it. In any case, I'm gonna bring it all back to the group. Dear Balkans, I know you guys are incredibly complicated, and in the back of everybody's minds, there's always a sort of clinging to past morbidities. But all I can say is, from a speculative standpoint, from a person abroad that has never been involved in any such matters, I can say, if I had a problem, I could solve it. If I needed something, I could get it. If I wanted to do something, I could do it. And when I hopped over from one country to the next, it kind of seemed like I was just getting a little slightly different flavor of a larger people group that understood general cultural undertones. Thankfully, it seems like all the biggest arguments have cooled off to a somewhat indifferent standstill, I guess I could say, which I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, most Balkan people are okay with. And maybe that's the best that you can hope for. I have no doubt this is not the last time I'll see you. I still have a lot of unfinished business here. Until then, thank you for the experience. Barbs.